All right, let's get to cooking some eggs. Now today we're going to make some scrambled eggs. What I want to start out with is understanding that we can make a large amount of eggs to store them for later. That's totally fine. Lots of people have a problem with making scrambled eggs and it gets cold and reheating it. Not true. Depends on how you reheat it. Always use your stove and oven to reheat eggs and meats, because microwaves agitate water molecules and it makes things taste a little bit funny. But when you're using meats and eggs, always make sure to use your oven or stove. Now, we're gonna make a nice kale bed salad today for our eggs, using some cucumbers and some lemon as it. And we're gonna put an avocado in our salad mix too, with a little bit of lime. Some stuff you're gonna need. You need a couple bowls, all right? You're gonna need one for nuts. You're gonna need one for some leftovers after cutting up some vegetables. You need one for scrambling our eggs up, and we need one for salad. So just keep some extra bowls on you, just to have some. Put a little salsa on top of our eggs. I love salsa. I think it puts an extra layer onto it. Makes it delicious. Cream, we're gonna put a splash in our eggs. Now what this is gonna do is gonna make our eggs fluffy. Right? We're gonna whisk it in there. I forgot my whisk. I'll pull it out really quick. Don't forget your whisk. Hey, if you don't have a whisk, that's fine. Use a fork. Whisk is always great to introduce lots of air, so make sure we get that in there. Garlic and onion powder for taste, salt and pepper, and of course, always have our nuts. So when we're cooking, as always, you always have to ask yourself, what's gonna take the longest to do? Now, cooking eggs doesn't take long. Scrambling them is pretty easy. A salad's gonna take a little longer to make. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna prep our eggs so that when we're ready to cook them, they're gonna be ready. They're gonna be all whipped up and they're perfect to go. Right before, let's put just a dollop of butter. Let's go ahead and put that butter right in our pan. Let's get it cooking right now. So we're gonna take a little bit. We just want enough to cover the bottom so that when we start cooking, our eggs aren't gonna stick to the bottom of our pan. There we go. Just to get it going, we're gonna put this on a really low heat. What it's gonna do is it's gonna start melting our butter for us, so when we're ready, we can pop over. So this is important because this is the step-by-step process in order to cook quickly and efficiently in your kitchen. Set your butter to the side. We're done with that for now. Let's move on to the scrambled egg portion. We'll just set this in the bowl till later. This won't be used till later, or this, or this, or this. Not to mention, how cool is that? That looks so good, right? All right, let's start with some scrambled eggs here. This is always so much fun. I like to get the best quality eggs. I usually get them farm raised locally, but for this, I found these eggs. These look really delicious. I think they're gonna work well for us. So let's break a couple eggs. Now, people are always wary when they're breaking eggs. They're very, very careful. Eggs are pretty stiff, so you can give them a little knock, then open them up and dump them right in. These yolks look delicious. So let's go quickly. We're gonna smash and open. And look, if you end up dropping something in here, you drop a shell, that's okay. You go in there and pick it up, no worries. No one's judging you. This isn't the Food Network. I'm making enough. I'm gonna make all 12, okay? And I'm gonna feed a couple people with this, and then I'm gonna have some left over, and that is the point of these recipes. You wanna be able to make enough to feed yourself that night and your next meal tomorrow, and then maybe the next day after that. There's no need to be in the kitchen every day cooking food. You need to learn how to cook efficiently, cook a lot of food at one time, and make sure it's delicious. So at the end of your fast, you have something delicious to fall back on. Just like this egg dish we're making. Oh my God, look at that. 12 eggs in. I don't think I even took a breath. Man, I've been yakking this whole time. So we're done with that. We're gonna kind of scoot this to the side, right out of camera. Perfect. As always, guys, keep a towel on your shoulder. This is an old trick I learned from a French kitchen. This will help you just kind of have something to wipe your hands on, so you're not constantly getting paper towels or running over to the sink. Oh, there we go, now I'm clean. Salt and pepper time, really easy stuff. Make sure you have lots of pepper. I like to have my own grinder, so I get that fresh pepper in there. Salt, don't use a salt shaker. Don't be a cretin. Find a little bucket to put it in, find a little container, plastic's fine. Grab a pinch, put it in there. Kind of decide how much you want. I'm a salty kind of guy. I love salt, not gonna lie. All right, there we go. Garlic and onion powder are very important for this. You want to give it that kind of garlic and onion background. You don't have to cook with it. Just kind of be a little liberal with that. Same here. And then the secret. Look. Let's put a splash of heavy cream, okay? Just a little bit. Oh yes, there we go. So what we got so far? How we looking? Look how delicious this looks. The eggs look fantastic. The cream's in there. We're gonna give it a nice whip. And this is gonna do is gonna introduce air and start to mix up our dairy into this mixture. And then it's gonna give us a really great fluffy scrambled eggs when we're done. When you're mixing stuff, don't go at it like this. You're not caveman, all right? Use your wrist to flick it and turn your bowl to the side so you can start to get into a rhythm where you almost have a little tornado effect here on the edge. Just like that. And with that is good. Have a little fun too. Sing a song. You got a song you want to sing? Sing it. All right. So, you know, this is pretty much all we're going to need for the scrambled eggs. We're pretty much there. And even though our pan is getting warm, when the eggs come off, we want them to be nice and hot so our salad gets a little bit wilty with the eggs that we're making. So right now, we're good with this. We'll give it a little whip in a second. Keep it in there. Put it to the side. Now we're going to start on our salad. It's a pretty easy salad, but just like always, you know, knife safety is important. Making sure your knife is nice and sharp. So we're going to give it a couple of runs on the steel. If you're not good with the steel, that's okay. The general idea is you want to keep it almost parallel, almost flat against the steel, and you just want to pull it against it. What happens is your knife actually gets burrs on the edges, and the burrs stick up like this, and when you hone it, it pushes them right back into place. So we want to hone our knife when we're cooking. Just like that, real easy. Some of the major cut stuff is going to be this cucumber, but before then, let's get our bed. Let's get our bed of kale ready. This is going to be my cut bowl. Now kale, you get them like this, and you know people are like, oh, they start to eat this backside. It's so hard to eat this stuff like that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our hands and we're gonna just kind of twist the bottom of this kale. Look how easy it comes off, okay? Then we can take it and we can kind of put a little piece left over in here, and then that's it. Let's throw it out of there. Our next piece, we want to hold the really hard spine by our left hand and take our right hand and just pull it apart. So we're taking out that hard spine. This is a thing that's impossible to eat that people hate about kale. But if you remove it, kale becomes a lot easier to eat and more delicious. So we're just gonna do this. Real easy going about it. We're gonna do this quite a bit because we're gonna eat a lot of kale. So knowing how to make kale, how to fix it, the important parts to eat, when to start preparing your kale salad, it's gonna be important. But as you can see, I'm burning through this kale, no problem. Holding it by its spine, using my right hand and pulling the leaf off. Just like that right there. Now I like to fix a big salad. Kale is a vegetable that's very turgid and it holds itself stiff for a long time. So you can actually fix a big bowl of this and just put it in your refrigerator with the top, just in the same bowl, and it won't wilt. Unlike iceberg lettuce, for example, or endive or radicchio, that stuff can really wilt, but not kale. So look how much we got out of that already. We're gonna go a little bit further and do another one. Remember, hold it with your right hand at the stem, left hand, give it a twist. Set that down. Pull a little bit of leaflets off there at the bottom. You got, oh, maybe eat some. I don't know. It's up to you. Again, left hand with the spine, pulling off the leaf, pulling off the leaf. I know you're thinking, didn't you put butter in the pan back there? You know, I did, but I put it on like a number 3. Butter will start to melt and sizzle about 5 for cooking. If you just want to warm it up, number 3 is perfect. So right now it's just sitting there. Nothing's really happening to it. We don't want it to be too warm yet. We'll get to that in a second. Here we go. Look at this. Look at this come to life, this bowl. You can't tell me that if you look at this bowl, you're not thinking, I know this is good for me. The color, the texture, the sounds it's making when it's coming off, you know that this is about to be some hearty, nutritious value for your body. You can almost tell. It's a lot different than fast food. It's a lot different than those weak salads that you're getting. Making these at home, making sure you have lots of kale. That's gonna be the secret to getting all those vital nutrients and vitamins that you need. But don't eat the spine. It's so hard to eat that. Look at that. All right, we burned through that. Easy. The trick is, don't keep walking to your trash can. It's gonna burn time in the kitchen. Keep a little thing in here. At this point, we've taken off most of it. So we're looking pretty good. But we still have some large pieces that's gonna be hard to eat one by one. So, let's get in there. Let's just rip these up a little bit more. Yeah. Get your hands in there. Feel your food. Oh man, it feels good. It sounds good. It's beautiful. This color green, look at these colors. You know you're getting nutrients when you have these colors. Perfect. Now, to bring a little bit more flavor out, we're gonna put a little bit of lemon juice on here and salt and pepper. We're gonna do that first just to make sure we cover the salad with lemon juice. Always cut the ends off your citrus. It's like this. When you're cutting, all right, don't grab anything by this and have your fingers sticking out. Always pull your fingers back and under like this. And always make sure that your knife is against your knuckles in an area. That way, if you do mess up a little bit, you're not cutting your finger. If I was to hold it like this and accidentally slip and cut my finger, but if I have it pulled back, my knuckles are guarding against the knife. So I can easily cut things with ease, and knowing I'm not gonna get cut. And then we'll slice down the middle again. Now, take this lemon, drizzle it on there. Take your hands, flip it over, get some lemon on the other side. All right, look at that. Now, people don't often do this, and I don't know why, but there's nothing wrong with putting salt and pepper on your salad. It makes it delicious. Salt brings out the natural taste in things. So let's go ahead and put a little bit here. A little bit of pepper here. All right. A little bit of salt. Hear that? That's deliciousness happening. All right. Let's make sure we get some on the other side. Come on, this side deserves some. Let me take one more lemon here. All right, all right, all right. This one's about used up. Let's put it in here. Wipe our hands off again on our trusty towel that we always have wrapped around our back. It's our kitchen sash. Pepper. Salt. This is going to be the base for our salad. We're going to put a little bit else extra in there. You don't have to make your salads nuts. Just use dark cruciferous vegetables in your salads, all right? Give yourself a leg up. Now, set this aside, make sure you can see this. Cucumbers can be difficult to cut. Again, we don't want to hold the cucumber and have our fingers exposed. We want to pull our fingers back. And when we cut a cucumber, we want to cut it on something called the bias, which means that we're not cutting it straight on, we're cutting it at an angle. And this will make sure our cucumbers don't roll away as much. They might still, but not so much. Also, when you're cutting on your cutting board, make sure that you're not moving your knife into whatever you're cutting. Hold it out here, hold it steady. A chef's knife has a really great rock, right? So you can feed food into the knife as it cuts. That way your hands are even more protected. So let's see what it looks like. Here's a simple clean cut for the bias. Everything's on the side here. My knuckles are pulled back. I'm gonna start this cutting motion, and I'm gonna start feeding the cucumber into that cutting motion, just like that. All right? So they pile up. Nice. Oh yes. Now, this may seem like it's enough just for our salad, but we always want to fix more than we think we need. That way we can have some later. Put your butts on the end. There we go. Oh man, it smells delicious too. Cucumbers are fantastic. Let's try it again. This time, let's try it not on the bias and see what happens. Again, we're gonna keep the same rocking motion, save in place. Cut that end off. Let's start the cut. I have a tendency to start walking off on us. See them rolling away? I'll get you, cucumber. There we go. So this is just a little trip. You don't have to do it. I'm just saying if you have a problem, you start cutting your cucumbers like, geez, this thing keeps running away from me. That is why. Now the reason that we didn't just put everything into the salad bowl is because we want to make sure our cucumbers get nice and dosed separately from the kale. Just because kale, if you put everything together and mix it, cucumbers tend to fall down into the crevices and they don't get quite the additions that we're making. So we're just gonna squeeze the other half of that lemon over top of here, all right? We'll put that off to the side. And again, salt and pepper. Always brings out the flavors of the vegetables that you're eating. So make sure that you do it. Don't put a bunch of salad dressing on your stuff. Vegetables taste delicious without it. Just like this, see? Tell me you're watching this and thinking, cucumbers. Hopefully you're doing this at the same time. So now that we're here, we have pretty much the same thing going on. We can take our cucumbers and just kind of start stacking them in our bowl. Here we go, just like that. Look at the size of this salad. This will set you up for success. Because these are cucumbers and kale, they survive well inside the refrigerator if you cover them. Unlike a lot of salads that'll get wilty, especially if you put stuff on top of them, like salad dressings. There we go on that. Last thing that goes in our salad is going to be the avocado. But at this point, I think we're at a good place. let's go check on our butter. Let's start cooking our eggs so that when we're done, everything comes together in one harmonious batch. Let's take a look. Butter's starting to get good. It's nice and melty. It's not quite at cooking temperature yet, so we're gonna turn it up to about 5 here. About medium heat. That's always good for butter. Butter can burn if you put it on higher than 5, about a medium heat. 5 on my stove, but whatever you have at home, that's fine. So we have set our eggs here for a second. We want to bring them back. And they're still looking pretty good. They have lots of air in them. We beat them with air in them and cream. The cream kind of helps hold that air. Also, when you cook, cream will expand, making your eggs fluffier. But we're going to go ahead and just give it a little bit more dollop. There's nothing wrong with that. Not to mention it's super satisfying. Look at this. Perfect. We can set this off to the side. We're going to be cleaning this up later. Half of the stuff we do is about cleaning. But as you see, I really haven't left this space. And a lot of the prep work is bringing it into the space you're going to work and then staying in that space and working. Not walking off to the kitchen, not trying to find things in the refrigerator. You need your eggs, have everything on the counter you need. I haven't left this spot. I'm going to turn around now and start cooking some eggs. We're on 5. It's looking pretty good. Do need a trusty spatula. Don't forget your spatula. All right, let's just put it in the pan and let it get a second here. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's sizzling. It's popping right now, which means that I'm probably at the perfect temperature. Now, there's no need to stand there and watch. We come back over to our salad. We'll finish off with the avocado. The secret to cutting avocados is to keep it flat against the counter, okay? Take your knife, put your hand over and just start sawing into the avocado. Stop here. We're halfway. We want to rotate. We're going to roll this avocado on the counter while keeping our knife steady. Again, we're not cutting with the knife. We're moving the fruit around the knife. It makes a nice clean cut and that beautiful avocado. Look at this food. You can't tell me this isn't perfect for you because it is. It's made for you. To take the seed out, again, we're going to take our knife. We're going to use the butt. We're not going to stab into it. We're not going to try to dig it out. We're going to take the butt of the knife and give it a little bit of a tap. Just like that. All right? We're going to squeeze the butt of the avocado and we're going to rotate just slightly. And that seed just comes loose and right out. Really easy. A lot of people stab themselves when they do avocados because I think they're trying to dig in. This way, ready to go, easy to clean up. We're just going to pop it in our bowl and that's it. We're done. Now, some people want to go a little bit further when they do avocados. Some people like to cut down the middle of their avocados and slice it up like this, right? Or some people like to go long ways and pull slices out. Whatever suits your fancy. We're not going to even take it out of the skin. We're going to leave it in there. We're going to hit it with a little bit of salt and pepper. Good. Here we go. Now, always with avocados, have a lime. Again, pulling our fingers back, cutting off our edges. Turning it, pulling our fingers back, cutting off our edges. And get rid of this. You can see the spine of this lime. This is the part that makes it hard to squeeze. So we're going to cut right and down the sides of it. Pop it out, just like that. Easy to squeeze. Delicious. But let's not negate this part. Let's use these ends, but let's cut this middle part out. And this is the stuff that makes it so hard to squeeze a lime sometimes. And here we are. Let's put this in our salad bowl, just like that. Great. Look how far along we are. Now, let's check on our eggs. Everything seems to be going well. You can tell they're cooking. If I slant the pan up a little bit, you can actually start to see the eggs cooking on the inside. They're not going to stick, but at this point we're making scrambled eggs. We're not making an omelet. So we're just going to run that spatula across it and just pull up those first round of eggs. And it's just looking so delicious, so good. Awesome. Here we go. Now I am fixing eggs for 2 tonight. So let me get a couple extra bowls out here. When you're ready to fix these eggs, I have a couple extra bowls here. Our salad, we'll put this in the fridge for later, but we can easily take some out for our eggs right now. Just use your hands, grab a handful of this salad we just made, just like this. Same thing with this bowl. Look at this beautiful salad bowl we made. Now the point of this is, you still have so much for tomorrow. If you have more eggs, you can use it there. If you don't have eggs, maybe it's your salad for the next day. The easiest way to store it is to just take a plate. Don't worry about going and getting your plastics out. Just take a plate, just throw it over top. This is done. This is all that needs to stay nice and refrigerated, keeping the air from getting into the eggs. Avocados. Kind of stick them on the side there. We're almost there. Always keep your lemon out. Look, maybe you want some extra lemon later. I'm gonna squeeze it now. There we go. How good we're getting. Okay. We're about to move into some cleanup mode here because our eggs are almost ready. And when we get done, we want to make sure that we have nothing to clean up at the end. So let's start stacking some of this back. We don't need this anymore. Let's move it back, put it away, put that away. While we're over on this edge, let's give these eggs a little bit of a flip. Oh my goodness. These are looking so delicious. Yes. Yes. Okay, those are gonna be ready soon. Let's pop over the sink real quick, guys. While this is going, let's turn on the water. Let's wash these dishes. Let's bypass that dishwasher. Let's just run through and do our dishes really quick. So easy. Look, things are cooking in the background. It's on a medium heat. It's not going anywhere, not burning. It doesn't need our attention. Let's just go ahead and take care of some of these dishes really quick so that when we're done cooking, we're just done. We're done all together. Look at that. Nothing fancy about it. We give our sink a little bit of a clean. Look, majority of our stuff's done. Our eggs are almost done. Sounds like they're getting there. Oh, goodness gracious. These eggs are looking delicious. Now, I like my eggs just a little bit on the runny side, even the scrambled ones. I'm going to give it one more second, but it's about there. Good. Okay. Always, 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 when you're having a meal, throw some nuts in the mix. Nuts are fantastic for you. Make sure you have a bowl ready. Throw your nuts in there. Almost there, guys. Almost there. All right, I think my eggs are done. I'm gonna pull them off the stove here. This is kind of what they end up looking like. I like mine a little runny. You cook yours until you feel like they're good. But this gives it just a little bit more of a taste, I think, when they're a little bit runny. All we're gonna do now is we're gonna take our eggs and we're gonna set them over this kale salad. The runny part of the eggs is actually going to go inside of the kale and make it just a little bit wilty. So it kind of gives a different taste profile, a different crunch to it when you have that mix of wilted kale and stiff kale still. Just like this. Oh my goodness, look what we've done here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and dollop these on because I have a hearty partner tonight. He's gonna help me eat these. But you know, if this was just too much of a meal to fix, that's fine. Throw the rest in the Tupperware. Don't put it in the fridge right away. Let it cool off and it'll get you there. We'll set this aside just 1 second while we do the last bit to our recipe and also clean. Now, I just got done scraping, so I put a little bit of water in here. While the oven's still hot, I'm gonna set it right back on. All right, it's gonna cook. It's gonna take that water and push it underneath the food that's getting stuck on that pan. While I do that, salsa. I love a little salsa in the end. Do we have a spoon? A spoon, salsa. Pico de gallo actually for this. Right here over top. Now look, if you've been fasting all day, this is the meal for you. This is how you want to break your fast. This is the kind of meal you want to eat at the end of the night. It's because you deserve it. You deserve to feed your body something delicious, and this is exactly the treat it needs. Let's put a couple things back. Put this back. Let's take the stuff that we're done with. Let's throw it back in the refrigerator. The salad extra, we can move on. Oh my goodness. Throw our nuts away. Now the point of this, I know it seems a little bit boring, but You got to get used to cleaning up your kitchen quickly. So when you're done eating, prepping, excuse me, you are cleaned up 100%. Your meal's ready to go. There's no fuss. You don't have to come back to the kitchen and clean things up afterwards. Getting in this regular habit is going to ensure that when you do clean, when you do cook, everything is perfect, ready to go when you're finished. This is a real practice and a real habit. It can work for you. Clean up after yourself, clean up your space, so that when you're ready to cook again, your kitchen is 100% ready to go. Here we go. Our eggs are still hot. I'm not worried about it. One final thing. Let's go ahead and take care of that pan. It sat for a second. Time to scrape it off. A little bit of soap and a sponge goes a long way. Let's just scrape out those eggs. I know it seems like the part no one wants to do, but if you just go in and clean up after yourself just a little bit before you even sit down to eat, mealtime won't be so hard. You'll be able to prep a large meal, you'll be able to sit down and eat, and then when you're done, nothing to clean up but the dishes you were eating on. Not to mention, doing dishes is cathartic. Feels so good to get things clean and ready to go for the next round. All right. You know what? It's mealtime. Here we go, guys. We went through a full meal. We still have a hot piping meal ready to go. Avocado, the kale salad, we got extra in the refrigerator. Big, delicious meal. If this is too much eggs for you, put some to the side. Do it tomorrow. Make sure you have your trusty towel. Bon appetit.